Hi guys, I'm here to talk about how to apply for an Australian onshore permanent partner visa and to save you a lot of money. Alright, so you guys have got your partner here in Australia. She might be on a tourist visa, she might be on a student visa, whatever sort of visa she's on, but you guys have decided you want to stay together and have a life together. Cool. Here's what you've got to do. You need to apply for a partner visa. You can apply for a partner visa offshore or onshore. The problem with offshore is it can take quite a while to get granted, and you guys are going to be apart for a substantial amount of time normally because, you know, she's not allowed back in the country yet unless you reapply for another tourist visa, and you've got to be home because you've got commitments, you've got to work, you might have family and so on. So, you know, onshore is the way to go. Partners here on a tourist visa or student visa. Before it expires, and that's important, before it expires, you're going to need to lodge your application for a permanent partner visa. And here's how you do it. You first of all decide that you want to save a lot of money, and so you're going to do it yourself. If you want to use an agent, that's great. If you're not sure how to go about it and you want to be sure about the application, by all means use a registered migration agent, but they cost dollars. If you want to fork out $4,000 or $5,000 or more, then that's probably what you'll have to do. And the cost of a permanent partner visa, I'm not sure at the time of filming, but it's probably around $7,200 or somewhere there. So it's a lot of money. We applied 3.5 years ago and it was $6,800. I know it's gone up a little bit since then. And there's a couple of new rules, but basically it's a similar process in terms of the application and the information required by Home Affairs. So here's what you do. If you're not married, you will have to apply as a de facto couple. To apply as a de facto couple, you need to have been living together for 12 months. The problem with that is, quite often you haven't been, because tourist visas only last for 1 year anyway, maximum, and you're lucky to get that. So in Victoria and a couple of other states in Australia, you can register your relationship with the Office of Births, Deaths and Marriages. And if you do register your relationship, that waives the requirement to have been living together for 12 months. So makes it a bit easier. Who wants to go out and get married for the purposes of a visa? It ain't the right thing to do. It's illegal. I believe there used to be a question on the application form, did you get married for the purposes of a visa? And if you did, you'd have to tick yes. So let's do the de facto one for now. So we've decided that we're eligible to apply. Here's what you do. Set up an IMI account. Go online with the Department of Home Affairs, research IMI account, log on, register, set yourself up, get a password, and begin the process. The process is relatively simple, guys. All you do is follow it step by step. Provide the information they're asking for. They will ask for documents. They will ask for passports. They will ask for home addresses. They want to know about your other family members from the country that the applicant is from. They want to know how long you've lived there. Have you travelled anywhere else? Have you ever applied for visas for anything else? If so, have they ever been rejected or knocked back? And all that sort of information. Have you been involved with military? Have you been involved with the police? Have you been in trouble with the police? Are you currently on any charges or anything like that? So these are all fairly standard questions, and I'm sure for the majority of people will be straightforward. Usually just no, 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 Philippine citizen, Thailand citizen, you know, Vietnamese citizen, Canadian citizen, whatever country you may be from. Generally is the only country that you're a citizen of, and you hold a passport for that country and you give that information. So then they ask other things. They want to know, as you're living together as a de facto couple, they want to know the nature of the household. who does what, who cleans, who cooks, who washes the cars, who cuts the grass, who feeds the dogs, who works, who doesn't work, all that sort of stuff. They want to get an understanding of the relationship that you guys have together and how you share the work. Is there anyone else living with you? For instance, in my case, I've got kids from a previous marriage. One or two of them were living with us. So what do? Do they share the housework? How do they get on with your partner? What sort of relationship does everyone operate under? Immigration just want to get a picture of your relationship to ensure it's genuine and how you guys all operate and live together. And I think that's fair enough. And usually not too hard to satisfy those questions. They also want to know the nature of your financial commitment to each other. Again, just be truthful. Tell them. If your partner has all the money and you as a sponsor have no money, tell them that. Say, look, my partner's rich. She had a great business. Fortunately for me, she supports me financially. From here on in, we're going to have investments together. You know, that usually is not the case. Usually the sponsor is the one that has the money. That's why they're sponsoring. So you just talk about your finances. You talk about her finances, whether she was working or a student back in her country. And if you have any investments planned for the future, then go ahead and tell them. For instance, in my case, again, with my partner, we went to a couple of property investment opportunity seminars. We did that because we were planning on doing some property investments. We didn't follow through with those. However, we had the emails, we had the documents with both of our names on them that we could send to immigration so they could see that that was the sort of path we were looking at going and what we wanted to do in the future together. The fact that I bought my partner a car, I helped her get her license, I taught her to drive, she's looking for work, I help her with her resume, I introduce her to people that may be able to help her out to find work. So all of these things are about supporting each other, and that's the sort of support that I gave my partner, and so I told immigration, and they're the things that they want to hear. Immigration, in our case again, didn't follow up in terms of interviewing us or knocking on the door saying, show us your living arrangements or anything like that. They accepted the documentation that we gave them, and I think that's an important key. I think you need to be thorough, and I think you need to give them everything that they want to know without going overboard, just so that they're sitting there reading it and they can form an opinion of your genuine relationship. So once you've applied once you've filled the application out, and you've paid your application fee and hit submit, you then are granted a bridging visa A. The bridging visa A remains in effect until they've made a decision on your application for a partner visa. In our case, it was an 820 visa, which is a permanent partner visa onshore. And so once they grant that temporary partner visa, the application fee you've already paid in your initial lodgement covers the second stage of your visa application, which is the 801 permanent partner visa. In the permanent partner visa, they ask you all the same questions again. Nature of the household, nature of your financial commitment. How has your relationship developed since you first lodged your application? Have you travelled together? Have you been overseas? Have you got evidence of that? Any videos of integration with your partner's family overseas? Any photographs like that? Very important, and all relevant. So make sure you keep all that sort of documentation. Keep your boarding passes, keep your itinerary, keep your tickets, keep receipts for your airline tickets that you've bought, all that sort of stuff. And so once you've sent all that in, that's another application that you have to put and send in and lodge. Once you've done that, it's a waiting game again, and it can take up to 2 years. I think our first temporary partner visa was about 18 months waiting. Once that was granted, we then lodged, within about a month, we lodged the 801. That's the permanent partner visa. We lodged that application, and again, there's no money extra. There's no extra fees. It's all part of your original lodgement. Once that was lodged, I think we waited maybe 16 or 18 months, and we finally got the grant for the permanent, the 801, the permanent partner visa, which, as I understand it, is basically permanent residence for my partner. And her next stage will be to apply for an Australian citizenship. Again, once a period of time has expired. I think it's about another 12 to 18 months and she can apply for that. So save yourself some money, guys. Have a go at it yourself. You can't go wrong. Department of Home Affairs, you can email them with any queries you've got. They're there to help you. They're not the bad guys. They're actually the good guys, because they're protecting our borders and they're making sure that relationships here are genuine. If you have a genuine relationship, you have nothing to fear. Everything will be fine. If you're trying to do a dodgy, or you're trying to do some sort of false application, you will get caught, and so you should. They're very smart people. They have great resources. They thoroughly research everything overseas. They may well bring you in for individual interviews. They can ask you any sort of question they want. Which side of the bed does your partner sleep in? What time does he get up to go for work? What is your partner's favourite food? How many pairs of socks does he keep and in which drawer are they in? They even ask questions of a sexual nature. You guys both need to provide the same answers to substantiate that. In our case, that didn't happen, but I have heard of cases where they do that. They did ask us for some further information. It was basically just a couple of things that I forgot to provide them. They asked for it, we gave it to them in a timely manner. They give you a time limit, you need to make it within that time. If you do that, all good. A couple of weeks after we did that, we were granted. So, save some money, enjoy the process, because it's, it's a lot of information to provide, but it's kind of exciting because you're working towards a goal, and that goal is to have your partner here permanently. And as I said, if it's genuine, it will happen. You'll get it. So no lies, be honest, be truthful, and the immigration department will grant you a visa. Enjoy it, have fun, and hope it was helpful. See you later.